Welcome to Making Fun of Dead People. Today we're going to dive into the darkness. We're going to be talking about the Liske family murders. Stick around because you're not going to want to miss out. So in 2010, amidst the colors of autumn and the festive atmosphere of Halloween, Martins Ferry, a small town in Ohio, experienced a tragedy that sent ripples of shock and sorrow throughout the community. The town's name, Martins Ferry, the town name sounds like something out of a Stephen King book. So on Halloween night, the houses are lit with the carved pumpkins, kids are laughing, little ghosts are walking around the streets, and everything's going like you would think it would go in a small town Ohio. But as we've seen in the past with Ohio, things will never stay quiet for long. The Liske family was no stranger to the town's residents. They were known for their community involvement and the warmth they shared with their neighbors. William Liske, the head of the family, was a respected figure in town. His wife, Susan, renowned for kind-heartedness. The blended family included Derek, Susan's 23-year-old son from a previous marriage, and William B.J. Liske. And this young adult was known to have a turbulent past. So as Hallows Eve turns into All Saints' Day, the rising sun unveiled a horror that nobody in Martins Ferry could have anticipated. The Martins Ferry's police department receives a distress call early in the morning from a neighbor who happened to venture over to the Liske home. They saw an elaborate Halloween display and decided to investigate even further, but unfortunately, they stumbled upon the lifeless bodies of Williams, and as soon as police started to dig a little bit deeper, they could see that there was a struggle that was very apparent in the living room. Furniture was askew and personal items were thrown all over the place. In different sections of the home laid the bodies of the people. The unsettling juxtaposition of the Halloween decorations and the remnants of the previous night's festivities really painted was a grim reality for the people that had to go to that crime scene. Really macabre. So as the news starts to spread around the tight-knit community, Martins Ferry residents struggled to come to terms with this event. Who could commit an atrocity and why? The most shocking revelation was yet to come. Evidence began to point towards somebody in the Liske family. Someone the police knew all too well. BJ, the troubled son. So as the police started to suspect BJ, they did have to carry out their investigation. So they are talking to people in the community and they're trying to calm fears that there could be danger out there. And so the investigation into BJ began right away, and the police did damage control. They're trying to keep everyone calm in the community and trying to complete this investigation. The officers do report that during the initial crime, or during the discovery of the crime after the call, the first responders actually thought that this was a prank because of the Halloween decorations, the fake cobwebs, the plastic spiders, and the carved pumpkins, all of this stuff. The evidence of the previous night's activity, it wasn't apparent right away to the neighbor or to the police. Even though they thought it was a body, there was still that part of them that they thought it was like a prank. So BJ, at this time, his location is unknown to the police. So the police are trying to find him while trying to figure out if the community... So the crime scene itself was a jigsaw puzzle of chaos and brutality. Evidence of a struggle was visible throughout the house. So there's overturned furniture, personal belongings were scattered, and the floors bore the grim testimony of violence that had unfolded. So Detective Aaron Mitchell, who was leading the investigation, later remarked in a press briefing, "It's one thing to be prepared for a crime scene, but this was something else. It looked like a scene straight out of a horror film. We had to constantly remind ourselves that this was actually real." So in those initial hours, the police force rallied and they set up a perimeter around the Liske home and the entire neighborhood. They initiated a full-scale manhunt, looking for forensics, looking for evidence, fingerprints, also talking to the neighbors, and trying to get in a little closer to the suspect, BJ. So the police are on to BJ, but the community itself isn't necessarily aware at the time who they are looking for. So there was a little bit of theories floating around, but I think from what I was reading online and the sentiment everywhere is I think the community suspected that this BJ fellow might have been involved. But there was a section of people, or there was some residents that were said to believe in this kind of outsider theory. Essentially, somebody completely unknown to them targeted the family. It could have been like a serial killer. It could have been somebody that was angry. So online too, you can see people talking about, was there some kind of family secret at the time that caused this? But the main one that was circulating around is that BJ Lisk's mental state was not the best. Those who knew BJ described him as a young man who always seemed to wrestle with his demons. Classmates recounted stories of his unpredictable behavior, while others remembered moments where he displayed profound kindness. Therapists and psychologists, speaking in general terms on local news broadcasts, highlighted the complexities of mental health, urging caution before jumping to conclusions without any concrete evidence. And there was a little bit of rumors, because it was Halloween, floating around that there's some kind of cover-up going, like the classic small town devil cult. Everyone's involved and they're covering up some kind of murder. The theories multiplied, so did the fear. Parents were a little bit worried and began to lock their door at night and not let the kids out too late. So the tireless investigation leads the Martin Ferry Police to get the evidence they need to arrest BJ Liske as the perpetrator of these crimes. The complex web of his mental health challenges, interwoven with the potential family tensions, played a role in the heart-rending events on Halloween night. In 2015, BJ receives 3 consecutive life sentences, and he is in jail for life. So the chilling tale that we're going to tackle next is about the unnerving urban legend known as the Candyman. Except we're going to cover the actual true version. So I hope you will stick around for that, because I want to do a deep dive into this. And I wanted to bring you a cursory look at it as it is. Got Halloween this week, and thank you, and I'm glad to be back. So I'm going to release this episode. Thank you for joining. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, guys.